on Amazon because the profit you make is like little to none. Is that true?
Well, it depends on the product itself, but I understand the point. I wouldn't say it's not good to put on Amazon. I would say understand what you're doing and understand what the differences are. You have options, right? Amazon is the number one platform for practically any product. So you probably want your products on Amazon, okay? But just understand when you're dealing with the number one company in the industry, they have more leverage than you do. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Mm-hmm.
So they can say, hey, you know what? I want 40%. And you have the option to say, all right, cool. Or no, that's not, I'm not doing that. But I like to, I never let my authors just put one product on one platform and call it a day. Yes, you can put it on Amazon. There's going to be smaller profit margins. Yes. But you can also put your book on your website. You can also put it on Barnes and Noble. You can also put it in Walmart. You can put it in Target and all these other places. You don't have to limit yourself to one platform or one thing, you know? So give yourself options. You might take a smaller profit margin, but man, I'd rather have 60% of $1 million, you know what I'm saying, than 100% of $20,000. You know, so it just really depends on you, right? But give yourself multiple options, because I like to never leave money on the table. If I'm going to get $1,000 over here and $2,000 over here, I don't want to choose between either or. I'm gonna find out a way to get both.
That definitely makes sense. That definitely does make sense. So one other question I have: what are some keys or things you would tell or advise someone who's inspired to be an author but's going back and forth? You know, whether I should write a book or if my story will be heard.
You know the wealthiest place on earth?
The wealthiest place on earth, the funeral,
Mhm.
the graveyard.
Right. The wealthiest place on earth is the graveyard. And that's because a lot of us go to our graves with brilliant ideas that could have impacted the world, but instead we said, oh, maybe later. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next year, or one day I'll write a book, or one day I'll start that business, or one day I will go to school, or one day I will push this invention, or one day I will. How many days you think you got? How many days you think you got? One of these days you're gonna run out of days.
You're right.
And if you keep pushing things back, you'll never know the impact you can make. You never know how many people you can heal. You never know how much of a difference you're going to make and heal yourself, right? There's too many times we didn't even forgive ourselves for things that happened to us, or and things in our lives. We might still need healing from it, and writing could be therapeutic for you. There might be someone you run into that needs your story, and they don't even know that they needed it. But your testimony, again, is not even for you, it's for someone else that's going through that exact same situation right now. If they heard your story, if they read your book, if they went to your seminar, if they purchased your product, if they participated in your courses, if they use your invention, their life would be so much different. Stop being selfish.
Mm, I like that. Stop being selfish. Stop being selfish. I mean, I feel like you kind of answered my next question. What is anything such as there's a saturation in the book in certain genres? You spoke about genres earlier in terms of being very specific. You know, a type
I
of
mean,
genre.
like, a saturated market means nothing. How many companies have bread in the grocery store? They all service purpose.
You're right.
I want the bread that you got. Like, what difference does it make? It's coming from me, so it's different. What's the difference between this book and all the other books? It's coming from me. This is my life. This is my perspective, or this is my children's book, or this is my cookbook. This is my poetry book. This is my, my story, my life, whatever. This is your twist on it. You know how many books about Abraham Lincoln is being written? Like,
Right.
come on. How many? Like, there's so many books about Abraham Lincoln. So what if there's another book about this particular subject? That's a blessing. It's a blessing. Make your mark, okay? Take your place, make your mark, live your life. Stop making excuses for why you don't want to do it.
That's you're
I don't
100%
care.
right. You're 100% right.
I don't care how many hip hop books are created. Y'all need mine. Y'all need mine. Okay? I don't care how many victim conquering stories are out there. I don't care. I don't know how many there are, but we need to hear your story. We need to hear
Yeah,
your story. So forget about a saturated market. Yeah, there's a bunch of children's books. Yeah, there's a bunch of coloring books. Yeah, there's a bunch of stories about abuse and things. It doesn't matter. I need to hear your story.
that's
So
definitely great.
don't be afraid to share your story. It will inspire others.
That's definitely great. That's definitely great. And being that said, after you got your first best-selling author, I'm sure that you had like some challenges or getting there and also doing more than one best-selling book. So like what was some of the challenge that you had to overcome?
I'm a student in the game, so I'm always learning something. Because the people that participated in my first workshop, I didn't know as much as I do now. So I'm still learning, but I like to give people information as I learn and develop it. So there was some things I had to learn the hard way. I was like, oh shoot, I didn't even know that. Like, oh, if I do this differently, we have better sales or whatever the case may be. So be specific in terms of being specific. um I would say make sure you partner with the right people, because some people can see your light and want to take from it.
Mm,
Some people can see where you're going, even when you don't even see it all the time, right? I don't know if you ever watched the movie The Matrix, right?
no, I haven't.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'll give a different example. Let's just put it this way. You can't see the picture when you're in the frame.
Mm,
So sometimes people looking into what you have going on could be like, oh, wow, this dude's going to be a millionaire. Oh, shoot, I need to be a part of what he got going on. But they come to take, they don't come to add value to your life. You understand? So be mindful of the business partners you bring on board. Be mindful of the partnerships and just be more strategic with how you move, because everyone that says they want to help you isn't there to help you. Okay, so pay attention to people's character, their track record, and if you see an opportunity for growth, put it in writing. Contracts, make an agreement, make a partnership agreement, or make a collaboration agreement. It's called a MOU, Memorandum of Understanding. Have certain things in place that both of you or all of you have signed off on, so it makes your life a lot easier. There's no need for a back and forth. You got everything laid out. Does that make sense?
that definitely makes sense. Oh, so you said something about you're working